Hello, hello everyone. In this session, we are going to learn transistor biasing and also stabilization techniques. And we'll also see the common emitter configuration transistor as an amplifier, how it is going to work as an amplifier. So before going to learn this, first, so in this session, we are going to learn what is transistor biasing and common emitter transistor as an emitter configuration transistor as an amplifier. And meanwhile, we are going to learn why the common emitter configurated transistor is used as an amplifier. Why it is widely used mostly. Next, so let me tell what is biasing. Before going to this biasing techniques and stabilization techniques, first let me tell what is biasing. So here in electronics, biasing is setting of initial operating conditions of an active device in an amplifier. Many electronic devices such as diodes, transistors, and vacuum tubes, whose function is processing time-varying signals, also require a steady current or voltage at their terminals to operate correctly. So biasing is nothing but here connection of external voltage supply so that due to this supply is going to set the initial operating conditions of the active devices like diode or transistors. Next, transistor biasing. So the steady state operation of a transistor depends upon a great deal on its base current, collector voltage, and collector current values. And therefore, if the transistor is to operate correctly as a linear amplifier, it must be properly biased around its operating point. So here, the basic function of transistor is to do amplification. So what is an amplification? Amplification is nothing but the process of raising the amplitude of a weak signal without change in its frequency and shape is known as amplification. So in order to achieve, the input circuit of transistor must remain forward biased and the output circuit always remains reverse biased during all part of the signal. This is known as transistor biasing. So the V signal is given to the base of the transistor and amplified output is obtained in the collector circuit. So one important requirement during amplification is that only the magnitude of the signal should increase and there should be no change in the signal shape. This increase in magnitude of the signal without any change in shape is known as faithful amplification. Once again, so here the biasing process is the process of providing DC voltage which helps in the functioning of the circuit. A transistor is based in order to make the emitter base junction forward bias and the collector base junction reverse bias so that it maintains in active region to work as an amplifier. This is an essential condition that where the transistor can work as an amplifier when it is operated in active region. So the transistor is said to be in active region when its input region, that is emitter base junction, remains in forward bias and output junction, that is collector base junction, remains in reverse bias. Then the transistor is said to be in the active region. So in an active region, the transistor will work as an amplifier. So amplifier is nothing but it is an electronic circuit which is used to raise or strengthen the amplitude of a weak signal without changing in its frequency. And meanwhile, this biasing also required in such a way that during all the part of the signal, or if we consider an input signal, it is going to have a positive we consider an AC signal, is going to have a positive half and negative half. During entire part of the input signal, the transistor should remain forward input region as forward bias and output region as reverse bias in such a way. So here this biasing is used to maintain the transistor to remain in this condition during entire whole part of the signal. For that we require biasing. And one important thing is the weak signal which is given here, the signal which is to be amplified is given to the base of the transistor. And meanwhile, we are going to collect the amplified output at the collector circuit. And one important requirement during amplification is that only the magnitude of the signal should increase and there should be no change in the signal frequency as well as shape. So this increase in magnitude of a signal without change in shape is known as faithful amplification. And moving on to the next topic. So here, why the common emitter configured transistor is mostly used as an amplifier compared to common base and common collector. Why this common emitter transistor why the transistor which is operated in common emitter is mostly used as an amplifier? Let me tell. So first one, the common emitter transistor is most widely used because it provides the voltage gain required for most of the day-to-day applications of preamplifiers and power amplifiers. And meanwhile, the common emitter amplifier is used about 90 to 95% of all the transistor applications, and it is most efficient than out of the three configurations because it is going to provide required voltage gain for day-to-day applications like preamplifiers and power amplifiers. And meanwhile, the common emitter configuration has the highest power gain. The common emitter configuration is going to have highest power gain combined with medium voltage and current gain. So in common emitter connection, the collector current is the output IC, which is known, the collector current is considered as the output current and base current is considered as the input current. Okay, so in this connection here, the current gain can be given as the ratio of the output current to the input current, which is given as the beta. So as the value of beta is very large, therefore the output current IC collector current is much more than the input current base, that is base current. Hence the current gain in common emitter arrangement is very high. In this, it is going to range from 20 to 500. The current gain is going to range from 20 to 500. And here, the common emitter is the most basic configuration for amplifier circuits. It also provides the maximum transconductance or voltage gain for a given load. Other than this, here, due to high voltage and due to high power gain, it has a largest reason. This is the major reason. Why? Because it's going to have high voltage and power gain. Due to high current gain, and the common emitter circuit is going to have highest voltage and power gain of 3 transistor connections. This is the major reason for using the transistor in this circuit arrangement. So the ability of this configuration to increase input signal power by 20 decibels, that is 100 times and more, is widely used as signal amplifiers in communications. So here in most probably in communication side, we are going to use amplifiers for different sections like transmitter side and receiver side to amplify the weak signals which are going to come over large distance. These weak signals can restore their power passing through common emitter amplifier. It is also widely used in speakers where the increase in voltage can increase the volume of sound. The configuration can also use the switch in embedded systems, usually microcontrollers. Output is limited to 5 volts. With common emitter switch, the voltage can increase about 5 to 20 times. That allows the control of more demanding devices, such as DC motors. The common emitter configuration is widely used for amplification purpose among 3 transistor configurations. The main reasons for the widespread uses of this circuit are high voltage and current gain. Second one is high power gain. And next one is, third one is moderate output to input resistance ratio. Rather, high voltage and current gain, high power gain, moderate output to input resistance ratio. First one, high voltage and current gain. The common emitter configuration is the only configuration which provides both voltage gain as well as current gain, that is beta. It is going to have a greater than unity. In case of common base configuration, current gain, that is which we are going to treat as alpha, it is less than unity. And in case of a common collector configuration, the voltage gain is also less than unity. The current gain in common emitter configuration is going to vary from 20 to 500, which is very, very high compared to common base and common collector. And second one is high power gain. The power gain is the product of voltage gain as well as current gain. Common emitter configuration provides voltage gain nearly equal to voltage gain provided by common base configuration and current gain nearly equal to current gain provided common collector configuration. Thus, the power gain of common emitter amplifier is much greater than the power gain provided by the other two configurations. So here, the voltage gain is maximum in common base configuration, and meanwhile, the current gain is maximum in common collector configuration. Current gain in common base and voltage gain in common collector are less than unity. But in common emitter configuration, the current gain is going to vary from 20 to 500. Next, third one is moderate output to input resistance ratio. In a common emitter circuit, the ratio of output resistance to input resistance is small. That is, it may range from 10 to 100. This makes common emitter configuration an ideal one for coupling between various transistor stages. So here, meanwhile, output to input resistance, nothing but trans resistance, where we can call it as the ratio of output resistance to the input resistance, which is very, very small. It ranges from 10 to 100. This makes common emitter configuration as an ideal one for coupling between various transistor stages. However, in other connections, the ratio of output resistance to input resistance is very, very large or very, very small, and hence coupling will become highly inefficient due to large mismatch of resistance. So here, the resistance which we are going to consider here is it is optimum, so that we can make sure to couple from one stage to another stage. It is well suited to connect from one stage to another stage, which is not possible in other configurations. Because in other configurations, we are going to observe it is very, very large or it is very, very small. Due to this, the coupling becomes somewhat difficult due to large mismatch of resistance. And let me discuss next topic, that is basic amplifier using BJT common emitter mode. BJT stands for bipolar junction transistor. So here the transistor which we are going to use here is NPN transistor. Okay, the transistor which we have used here is NPN transistor. The figure is going to have, in this given figure, we have used NPN transistor. We observe the terminals. We are going to have base. The three terminals are base, collector, and emitter. These are the three terminals of transistor. And since the arrow mark is going to show outwards, in the emitter terminal, the arrow mark is looking outwards. The head is outwards. So this transistor is of NPN transistor and base is of P-type. NPN stands for here collector and emitter are of N-type and base is of P-type material. Okay. If you observe in this diagram, here we are not, first let me tell, there is no input signal at all. So whenever there is no input signal, how it is going to react, how it is going to respond. And next, this emitter base junction. So before going to this, let me tell what is an amplifier. Amplifier is an electronic circuit, is a basic circuit which is formed by the transistor. Use it to raise or use it to strengthen the weak signal to the required level without changing in its frequency and shape is known as amplifier. So as we have discussed in previous case, that is in order to achieve this, the input circuit of the transistor should remain forward bias and the output circuit always should remain in reverse bias during all the parts of the input signal. So here the weak signal is given to the base of the transistor and the amplified output is collected across the output terminal, that is collector terminal. Okay, one important requirement during the entire amplification process is that only the magnitude of the signal should increase and there should be no change in the frequency as well as shape. This increase in magnitude of the signal without change in shape is known as faithful amplification. And if you observe this circuit diagram, the emitter base junction, the region between base and emitter is known as base emitter junction. Here it is forward bias. According to our requirement, the transistor should be operated in the active region. So in order to operate this transistor in the active region, the input region must be in the forward bias and the output region must be in the reverse bias. So this forward bias is going provided by the voltage battery, that is VBB. The emitter base junction is forward biased by the VBB. If you observe, see here, the positive terminal of the battery VBB is connected to the base, that is, which is P-type. Hence, this region is forward bias. And meanwhile, collector base junction is reverse biased by the battery VCC. Let me tell how. See here, this collector terminal is of N-type and this VCC battery terminal is P-type. If N-type is connected to P-type, P terminal of the battery, then it is said to be reverse biased. So that the transistor remains in the active region throughout its operation during all the parts of the input signal. The input signal is applied to the base emitter circuit and the amplified output signal is taken across the resistance RC or RL. We can also connect load resistance, that is RL, at this point, and this resistance is known as collector resistance. Okay. So let me tell the operation. So this DC voltage, here the battery VBB is connected to the input circuit in addition to the signal voltage. This DC voltage is also known as biasing voltage, and its magnitude is such that it always keeps the emitter junction forward biased regardless of the polarity of the signal source. If DC bias voltage is not provided, then what happens? You can have a doubt. Suppose if there is no proper bias, what happens? If there is no proper bias is provided for this circuit, what happens? Then during the negative half cycle of the signal, the emitter base junction will be reverse bias. This will upset the transistor action. So let me explain the circuit operation by considering different cases. First case is which we have seen in the first diagram itself, when there is no signal is applied. When no signal is applied, the input circuit is forward biased by the battery VDD. Therefore, what happens? A DC collector current IC, a DC collector current, that is IC, flows in the collector circuit. This is called zero signal collector current. So the purpose of zero signal collector current is to ensure that emitter base junction is forward bias at all the times. And second one is when the signal voltage is applied, the forward bias on the emitter base junction increases or decreases depending upon whether the signal is positive or negative. This is the first case. And second case, when the input signal is connected. When the signal is connected, see here, this input signal is of sinusoidal in nature, which is connected to the base of the transistor. As the source, the input signal source is connected to the input circuit. When the signal is superimposed on the DC base voltage, that is VBE, base to emitter voltage, the VBE varies with the time. As a result, the base current also varies with the time. As a result, what happens? Collector as well as emitter current also varies with the time. This varying current, when passes through the load resistance or RC, it will provide a varying voltage which is going to develop across it. This varying voltage is the output voltage, that is V0. So let me tell in briefly how this circuit is going to behave in positive half cycle of the input signal and during negative half cycle duration. So first, during positive half cycle of the input signal, the forward bias on the emitter base junction is increased, causing total collector current IC to increase. The total collector current IC due to positive cycle is given as IC is equals to IC plus IC. So if you observe the terminology here, this capital IC represents the zero signal collector current and small IC will represent the AC collector current due to signal. And next, see here, second case, during positive half cycle, the total collector current tends to increase. Why? Because the input voltage is going to increase. Because of that, base drive increases. When base drive increases, base current is going to increase. When base current increases, as usually according to beta, by the definition, that is alpha, beta can be given as IC by I. So by this relation, if collector current increases, IB also, base current also increases. So by this relation, how much amount of the input is going to increase? The same amount is going to have increase in the output side. And next condition, that is next case, during negative half cycle of the input signal, the forward bias on the emitter base junction is decreased, causing the total collector current IC to decrease, because during negative half cycle duration, the magnitude is going to decrease. Due to that, base to emitter voltage decreases, so that base current decreases. When base current decreases, collector current also decreases. Due to this, the total entire collector current tends to decrease. which is due to negative half cycle. Due to this, in the negative half cycle, the total collector current that is IC can be given as IC minus IC. Okay. The useful output voltage is the voltage drop across the collector load, that is RC, or collector resistance due to the AC component IC. In this way, a transistor works as an amplifier in common emitter mode. The table below gives a different terminology which we are going to use for currents and voltage in this transistor applications. If you observe the output waveform, see here. This is the input waveform. During positive half cycle, we are going to get the negative half cycle, and during negative half cycle of the input, the output is positive half. This is why, because we observe the circuit diagram in the output side. We apply the KVL in this case. We apply the KVL in the output circuit. The voltage, collector to emitter voltage VCE can be given as VCC minus IC into RC. So consider for positive half cycle. For positive half cycle duration, IC is increasing, collector current is increasing. When collector current increases, VC will decrease. Similarly, during negative half, since VC is decreasing, we are going to get during positive half of the input signal, we are going to get the negative half. We are going to get a decreasing voltage. Similarly, when the input is negative half, IC is decreasing. So according to formula, VC is equals to VCC minus IC. Since IC is decreasing, VC is increasing. So during negative half of the input cycle, we'll get maximum VC value. Okay. This table shows regarding the terminology of different currents which we are going to use in the common emitter configuration. Let's have a glance on this slide. Emitter current. We are going to have three parameters here. It's instantaneous AC, DC value, and total value. This total value gives the sum of the instantaneous AC plus DC value. These DC values are without application of input signal. All these are represented by capital letters, and also the suffix are also represented by capitals. So here the emitter current is represented by IE, and collector current is represented by here the collector current is represented by IC, and base current is represented by IB. Similarly, the collector to emitter voltage is represented by VCE, and base to emitter voltage is represented by VB. Just have a glance on this. Instantaneous values are represented by all small letters only. Even in suffix also we are using small letters. Coming to total that is sum of AC values as well as DC. Here, if you observe the notation, the main parameter is represented by small letter and the suffix is represented by capital letters. Okay. And moving on to the next one. So here, hence we have discussed, let me recall the previous session once more. So before going to close my session, once have a glance on previous slides once more. So today we have discussed transistor biasing. We had learned what is biasing and why it is important in transistor and amplifier, why biasing is needed in the amplifier, transistors and amplifier. And also we have learned common emitter, transistors and amplifier, and also what are the main reasons for wide use of the common emitter amplifier. So biasing is nothing but application of external voltage for setting the initial operating conditions of an active device and an amplifier in order to work that device without any interruption. In order to operate that properly, we need bias. For proper operation of active devices such as diodes, transistors, vacuum tubes, these are going to process many time varying signals, and also they require a steady current and also voltage at the terminals to operate correctly. For these things, we need biasing. Biasing is nothing but in a shortcut, we can tell biasing is nothing but application of external voltage for proper operation of a device. Transistor biasing. So here in a steady state operation of a transistor depends a great deal on its base current, collector voltage and collector current values, and therefore the transistor is to operate correctly as a linear amplifier. It must be properly biased around its operating point. So the transistor, in order to work the transistor as an amplifier. So coming to our topic, we are discussing common emitter transistor as an amplifier. So in order to work this transistor as an amplifier, it must be biased properly in such a way that the transistor is going to have two regions, input region and output region. Base emitter region is considered as input region and collector emitter region is considered as the output region. Here, this common emitter transistor will work as an amplifier when the operating point of the transistor will lies in active region. So when this transistor is said to be in the active region means if input region as well as output region are going to be proper bias, that is if input region is forward bias and the output region is in reverse bias, then this transistor is said to be in the active region. So in order to make this input region as well as output region properly biased, that is we have to make this input region in a forward bias condition, and also we have to make this output region in the reverse bias for all the values of the input signal, that is we are going to connect the AC signal. For all the values of this input signal, the biasing should be given in such a way that it should be remain forward bias for all the values of this input signal. And similarly, the output region should remain reverse bias for all the values of the input signal. Then only this circuit will work as an amplifier. For this purpose, we need biasing here. See, if you observe this circuit, for biasing purpose, we have used two batteries, VBB for input side and VCC for output side. Hence, the circuit is used as a amplifier. Next one. So here, why this common emitter transistor is widely used? Because of three main reasons. It is going to provide high voltage and high current gain, and meanwhile it is going to provide high power gain and moderate output to input resistance ratio. Due to this common emitter transistor is going to use in many applications. So in next session, we'll learn the concept of DC and AC load line. Meanwhile, we'll see some operating point terminology regarding this transistor. So with this, I'm going to close my section. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you, one and all.